Everybody. Uh, it's the Memorial Day weekend, and today is actually Memorial Day. So I want to remind all of you that one of the action strategies that you can be using is to wish someone happy Memorial Day, ask them what they're doing. But the formula, 4 steps: create a page, connect with people, communicate with them, and close them, is very, very easy to follow, easy to duplicate. And so first we have to learn the dance. It's 4 steps. Create a page, connect with people, communicate with them, close them. Well, the first part, creating your profile, filling in the blanks, making sure that people can see you, is the first step. Once your profiles are up, once your profiles are visible, then it's just a matter of the rest of the steps. Connect, communicate, and close. Connect, communicate, and close. So you learn the dance with practice. You've got the steps: create, connect, communicate, and close. Connect, communicate, and close. Connect, communicate, and close. And don't practice until you get it right. Practice until you can't get it wrong, because it's easier than most people realize. When you're doing it right, knowing in advance that you could pick out people based on who they are, based on what they tell you about themselves. Before you ever start the conversation, you know there's a need. And we're going to jump into some accounts. We're going to show you exactly how it works. When you can do that in advance, you know the person you're talking to needs what you have. There's just a couple of simple questions that you could ask anyone. Now, you could add your own style. You could add your own little personal flair and personal story, but it's still connect, communicate, and close. And always, always, always focus on the other person. Now, once you've learned the steps, you got to dance every day. You need to be out there talking to people. And you can grow your business as big as you want it to be, because your only limitation is going to be the number of people that you talk to on a daily basis. And for some of you, for the first time, you're going to start generating income. You're going to start making money in whatever business you're in, and put yourself into a situation where, for some of you, maybe for the first time, you're successful in whatever business you're in. And then the next step is to teach others to dance. The people that you've just brought into the business, they've already got a profile. You just need to make sure that they're visible, give them a few simple steps, and reach out and talk to people that you know ahead of time. Just by looking at their profile, you know they need what you have. The question is, do they want it? But if you don't follow the steps, if you take shortcuts, if you don't focus on the other person, it's going to be one disappointment after another. Millions of network marketers today are struggling, failing, because they don't know how to dance. So don't practice until you get it right. Practice until you can't get it wrong. Practice. Get out on the dance floor. Talk to more people. So we're going to jump into a couple of accounts. We're going to demonstrate how the process works, okay? So first, we're going to start with Rebecca. And Rebecca had reached out and was talking to Joshua. Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning, Max.
So how did you feel about this one?
Well, I feel really good. I'll tell you why. Because he has a lot of influence over many people in his industry.
Yep.
He's a leader, and he's actually starting his own franchise. He was in the process of starting his own franchise right as the virus hit. And so he's got other people who are starting their own business under his name.
Oh,
So
that's terrific.
Yeah, it is. It really is terrific. So, he's in a good position to start. He said, because he's in a contact business, he's a jiu-jitsu coach business, that he doesn't know how long it's going to take for them to be able to get their businesses up and running. So he said that this would be perfect for them in the meantime.
Absolutely.
And so he's a really good find,
Yep.
I have to say. But, at the same time, I have to tell, I want everyone to know on your call, on your training, that, I've reached out to hundreds. If you reach out over time, obviously not in one sitting, but if you reach out on a daily basis to at least 20, to connect with people, you don't know who's going to be the right one, but as soon as you go through the sifting process, you will find people.
Yep.
It's it's staying consistent and following your trainings and listening and how to do it. I'm doing it right now. I mean, if you want to go into my account, you could see, I'm continuing conversations.
Perfect. Well, we're going to look at this one, and then we're going to look at another one that you're in the process of doing. So basically, you reached out to him roughly maybe 10 days ago. So you reached out to him, and this is simply a copy, edit, and paste. He accepted you right away, which puts him in the eager socializer category, because he wrote right back. So, in fact, he wrote back almost within 60 seconds. So, the next day, you reach back out to him. You hit him with the icebreaker. What do? Personal trainer, professional fighter, and professional grappler. All right. So, the one thing that I want all of you to realize is she's having a conversation. It's not like she's just asking the next question. So, connecting the two. What prompted you to become a pro fighter? Life. So now, this was on the 14th. 4 days later, we, I think this was after, was this after one of our sessions? Did we do a session then? Was that what it was?
It was during the session. It was last Monday, as a matter of fact.
Okay. So what we did was we picked up on something that he said, life. And so we found this on the internet. Life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, but learning to dance in the rain. And then most of the people that I've met on LinkedIn that use the terms health and wellness together, and if we look at his page, independent health, wellness, and fitness, typically people that do this are all engaged in some form of network marketing business. So we asked him, what company are you working with? And he comes back, I work with, but right before this, I was working on open up my own gym. So it doesn't appear that he's into network marketing. How have you been affected by the pandemic? Dramatically decreased. Okay. So now we use a transition line. Most of the personal trainers that I'm now working with on LinkedIn have all turned to the internet to earn additional income while their businesses slowed down. What experience have you had with network marketing? I don't know. How do you get new clients? I teach specialty classes. So we needed to be clear. Network marketing. People don't put the pieces together. When I refer to network marketing, I mean companies like Herbalife, Amway, Nu Skin. Have you ever worked with any of these? Nope. All right. So we know he's got a need. We know he's got a financial need. And we know that he doesn't have any experience with network marketing. So we took something out of the scripts book and modified it. Would you be interested in learning how you could be making additional income until you get back into the gym? Now, pay attention to this, because we're not saying, launch a new career. We're saying making additional income until you can get back into the gym, which is his passion. Yes, I would. Thank you. So you set him up. We need 45 minutes on the phone. I have an opening at 5. Does that work for you? Yes, it does. So you called him, you talk to him, you use your online tool, and now you've just brought somebody into your business who is not only going to jump all over this, but his, like Rebecca said, his level of connections. Every time he helps another fighter, every time he helps another trainer into the business, he's going to be able to help them generate income until things turn around. This is a textbook, classic example. This is why in March, 15 million people jumped into LinkedIn. All right? I mean, and more folks are coming. If you're not there, if you're not on LinkedIn yet, by God, you need to get there. So let's take a look at Douglas.
Yeah, I didn't know where to go with this.
All right. Well, he says, those 3 don't interest me. Well, all right. Have you ever worked with these? He's kind of giving you... He didn't owner, manage, group fitness professional, coach, and consultant. So we come down here. And so here, 15 years of coaching. So first and foremost, you got to know that he knows something about network marketing, okay? It's hard to believe, but here, owner, manager, so he owns an endurance store. He's been doing this for 5 years. In addition to that, he's also got a background in finance, works with Morgan Stanley. He's got a degree in finance. He worked for Barclays for 3 years. So all of this, and then at some point in time, he started this in 1996, like right after he got out of college. He got out of high school in 1990, 30 years ago. Makes him about 47. So the green dot means he's on LinkedIn today. Same thing. We reached out to him. He accepts you. Now notice he got okay. Not very talkative, is he? What do you do? I'm currently out of work, but looking for project manager roles or sales roles. How are you? And again, we're using, when you ask somebody what they do, they're going to come back. They're going to ask you what you do. Fortunately, I have an internet business exploding because everyone wants to work from home and make money on the internet. What do you do? What did you do? I teach group fitness. I do 4 Zoom classes a week, but the income is low. Trying to build it up. All right, and now he says none yet. All right, when I refer to network marketing, I mean, those three don't interest me. Okay, so what we're gonna do. See, what you want to do is you want him to look at what you're doing, right? So
Right.
what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back and we're gonna say, oh, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. They never interested me either. But I was trying to get an idea about your experience with network marketing. Now, would you be interested in learning how you could be generating additional income stream? It's the same question. We're going to add one thing. We're going to say most of the... See, did we say it up here already? So we already said it up here. Most of the personal trainers have turned to the internet. Most of the trainers that love okay? And that's all you have to do. All we have to do is send this over to him. We want him to open up and say, yeah, I'll take a look. Those never interested him. Well, you're with a totally different company. And folks, this is what it's all about. All right? So I'm going to... Let me know what happens, Rebecca. My guess is you'll be back with him before our 4 o'clock session. I'm going to jump over here to Bobby. Whoops. I'm guessing. Nope. I don't know what it is, Bob. I've got a mental block. I'm going to turn it into a screensaver. Okay. Let's unmute Bob. Good
morning and happy Memorial Day.
Yeah, thank you. I really expected to be out sailing today, but the weather wasn't.
I didn't expect you to be here, so I got in. I said, well, I wonder if he's doing that today. I got a couple questions. So
yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. So you have 2 chats.
Yes, and I just learned a lot from the previous chat you just went through with Rebecca.
Well, good.
I think this one's going to be very similar, but
well, you know that
that's advanced first.
That's the thing, that the process is going to be similar with everybody. Okay, so let's take a look at Brandon. See, this is the power of social media. You know enough about the person before you ever start the conversation. You know what they do. You can almost pick out the need, identify the need before you start talking. So he's just getting started, my guess, on LinkedIn. Is he one of the people that recently created a LinkedIn page?
I think he was, Max. I've gone through so many I lose track, to be perfectly honest.
Gotcha. Okay. So he was a store manager. And so he's been out of work since January. This had nothing to do with the pandemic. All right. So what do you do? Okay, so former store manager, looking for work in any field. It's tough out there. Yes, it is. Okay, now the question that you have to ask yourself is, in the 20 years that he worked in this company, okay, wow.
I think he was also a coach, probably with a football team or something, if I remember his correctly.
Okay, well, let's see. But looking for work in any field, it's tough out there. So I don't see, where did you get coach?
I thought I saw that in his profile somewhere.
Okay.
Maybe it was a different one.
Oh, here it is. No, he volunteers as a coach.
Yes.
Now, look at this guy. He's been a president of the Chamber of Commerce for 10 years. So right off the bat, that's got to tell you, he knows all about network marketing. Somebody has talked to him about this. All right? So we're going to come back over here. This is a phenomenal prospect. So one of the reasons why you want to ask somebody, what do they do? Is because sometimes people don't always put on their profile everything they do. Looking for work in any field, it's really tough out there. And now here's what we're going to do. We're going to kind of step back for a minute, and we're going to say, I just read the details and can only imagine must feel after devoting career okay, now, who could guess that 2 months later, almost all the, and what kind of a,
I was thinking it was a mom and pop's type grocery store, but I can't remember exactly what it was.
no, it's furniture and appliances.
Okay.
Okay. Who could guess that 2 months later, almost all the be closed? Now, he's worked for them for an extended period of time, and you know, number one, we know he's got a need. Two, we know that, man, this guy's got a lot of connections. So he says here, looking for work in any field, it's really tough out there. Now, it's tough. Now let's look at some of his. Let's look at customer service, sales, managing, training, driving sales. And he says he's looking for work in any field. So. Now, there's so many different ways that we could say this, okay? I mean, basically what we want to do is we want to say, look, many of the professionals, or we could say many of the out of work professionals I work with on LinkedIn have turned to the internet to generate an income while looking to find now we'll put down job or career. Now, this is a subtle difference to the scripts in that we've been talking about people turning to the internet to launch new careers. Okay, this is the difference.
Right.
Now what we're saying is, look, while you're looking for your next gig, your next job, we could be working together and I'll show you how to make some income. Once you show it to him and once he gets excited about it, then he may just decide, you can show him, listen, you may never have to go back to work. You may not have to find another job. We could say with your record of working with people, why don't we just say with your previous why don't I just call it experience working with people, you would be very successful doing this. Would you like to know how? Would you like to know how? Until now, have turned to the internet to generate an income. You know, under normal circumstances, I don't like yeah, that's good enough. Now, what we didn't do was we didn't ask him about network marketing. And there's a specific reason for that, and you and I have to have a private conversation about that.
Okay.
Okay, and the other one is Rachel. Whoops, I spelled her name wrong. So, folks, it's all about having people to talk to. So she's a bartender. And she's been here for 10 months. Recruiter, human resources, hostess, server, bartender. Okay. office manager in a medical place. So she's done a little bit of a stylist, no less.
Mm-hmm.
So she's got an interesting career. And customer service for the golf course, lead hostess and server, hairstylist. So in 2009, she manages an office, medical office. Then she goes, and boy, she's kind of flipped around. She comes back to what she knows, then jumps into human resources for a bit, and goes back into the restaurant world. Okay? So she accepted you. You followed up with the icebreaker and server. All right. So we can start this by saying, compliments. Compliments. You have an amazing you have one of the most diverse resumes I've seen on LinkedIn. Have done some things. Okay, what prompted you server and bartender now what we did is, if we don't want to repeat it, we could say, after working as an office manager and a stylist, and recruiting. Now, office manager, hostess, human resources. Okay. So now we're going to come back over here. Now you asked her what she does. She tells you. We want her to come back and ask you what you do. So we're going to react to what she said. We're going to say, okay, so many of my friends tenders in fact, I say most of my friends, they're serving and bartenders, jobs too. Now, so that's what we're going to send that over. She's gonna come back, and she's going to respond, and so the conversation is going to continue to move on. And Bob, what I'm going to do is, as soon as we're done with this, I'm going to give you a call, and we'll address what we talked about yesterday.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, now let's go over here because we also have Wesley. Morning, Wesley.
Morning, Max. Happy Memorial Day to you and everybody.
To you too. So, and by the way, Bobby, just an FYI, it only took me 3 months to finally remember Wesley's email. So let's pop over here. And Wesley, who you looking at? Who have you been?
Leland Nolan.
Had L-E-L-A-N-D?
Leland, yes.
Okay, let's take a look at Leland.
Yeah, another store manager, like Bobby.
Mm-hmm. All right, so he's been in retail sales for a long time. Now, folks, I hope all of you are grasping this, all right? That if we go over here on LinkedIn, and I'm just going to pull up another page here, and we do a search up here for bartender. And we look and see how many bartenders are on LinkedIn. There's almost 1 million bartenders. You come over here and we look for a server on LinkedIn. 9.8 million servers. We come over here and we do retail sales. Okay, you got 9.6 million people in retail sales. How about store managers? 5.3 million store managers. There is no shortage of opportunities to talk to. You just have to learn to dance. Okay? Looking for new career opportunities. Didn't say he's looking for a new store. So you reached out to him. He accepted you. No, as well with no. Now it says here, with no return, has no idea when he's going to go back to work. So I enjoyed developing and educating my employees. Boy, you know, this is a skill set that if he applied to building a network marketing organization, would just take him to the top of your company really, really quick. Mm-hmm. Okay. So now we know he has been out of work since, well, let's see. He started working in retail sales About 8 years ago. Okay. Sears, general manager, head coach. Okay, now, the question we want to ask him, think about the question you want to ask first, okay? What we want to find out, and by the way, you have to know somebody has talked to this man about network marketing, okay? And all the time. So he stopped working in March. So April, so he's been out of work for 60 days and he's probably getting unemployment. The question we want to ask him would be, interested online make some money online while trying to find your next job. Now, with your passion for employees and training your employees an asset compliments. Now that skill set would also work very, very well in your business.
Right.
Okay? So many we're going to use a transition line. Many of the work management professionals that I work have turned to the internet position and interested in how Okay? It's that's why we call these things copy and paste. It's copy, edit, and paste.